Hello, hello, hello. Here you are. What are you looking at back there? I just love that bit. Okay, welcome once again to Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel. It's Elvis Week. Wow. How do we get here? Time flies. Hello everyone. Yes, welcome once again to Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel. We have a lot to get through tonight. With it being obviously Elvis Week, I want to hear from people if you're in Memphis actually, and you want to ring in and tell me all about your adventures. And we should be speaking to somebody shortly over there as well. Fingers crossed if all goes well. First of all, though, a sad little bit of news this week. As we all know, Olivia Newton-John passed away. And Olivia, that's the way I'd like to remember her, actually, is Sandra Dee in Greece. But of course, we all have our own memories of somebody like that. A unique lady, talented lady. She was a massive fan of Elvis, and she even saw him live in concert a few times. Elvis, as we know, sang her songs live. Sang her songs live. Let Me Be There, and If You Love Me, Let Me Know. And of course, there's that one introduction where he says, if you love me, let me know, and if you don't, then move it. I like that. She remembered seeing him perform. He's got a magic on stage, she said, and I've heard a lot of people saying he's this and that, and I always wanted to make my own judgment of him, and he was everything they said he was. As soon as he came out on stage, whatever he does, it was magic. So that's our Olivia, and I know a lot of you were sad when you heard the news, like I was. Such a lovely human being. And yes, Puma Gutton says, bless you, Steve, for talking about the lovely Olivia. Well, I just felt I had to, because as I say, she was a huge Elvis fan as well, and I'm sure Elvis had time for Olivia as well. I don't think they met. I'm pretty sure they never met, but he must have liked her, because he wouldn't have sung her songs live if he hadn't. So that's Olivia. So as I say, we have quite a lot coming up tonight. We have the normal things like this day in Elvis history. We will be focusing obviously on Gladys Presley, because it is her anniversary, 1958, of course. I'll have a live interactive poll for you that you can vote on. I want as many of you to vote on that as possible. It's a very simple poll today. It's just a yes or a no. And the more people that vote, the more accurate the result is. What else? Oh yeah, we have Photoshop of the Week, of course. I wish Elvis had recorded. This is another one actually supplied by a listener. So I didn't pick this one. It was a listener that picked it, and I will be introducing that later on as well. What else will I be doing? I will, of course, we'll be talking about Elvis Week. And as I say, hopefully there will be people ringing in live. You can use WhatsApp, the number on the screen now. You can use Facebook Messenger or Instagram. You can ring me. They're all free. Now, the lines aren't open yet. I will tell you when the lines are open. But we're going to do the quiz first. And I've got a new jingle that I play when somebody gets the question right. So that'll be something to look forward to. Don't forget your super chats as well. If you do want me to mention something or shout out something or anything like that, you can buy your own super chats by hitting the $sign at the bottom of the chat, and I will address it, because they actually appear on my screen and they stay on my screen until I address them. But if Dave and Maxine are both ready, they can be the moderators. And also, I will be, don't forget, we are playing for this wonderful, wonderful prize. And it's either that the blue or the red Speedway jacket. And I will be picking out a name, not this week, but next week, after Elvis week. And whoever's name comes out can get to pick the red, the blue, lady, man, or child. Right, here we go. Question 1. As I say, your name goes in. If you only have to get one question right first over the whole 12 months, and your name will be going in for that jacket. So this looks like, yes, it is. I did. It's the song titles with their first letter of each word in the song title. Again, we're not doing the mystery voice. I'll probably do the mystery voice again next week. I'll do a couple of mystery voices. So Dave and Maxine stand by. Thanks obviously to Dave and Maxine for moderating. I'm most grateful to both of them for doing that. So here we go. And don't forget, listen out for this new jingle I play when the person gets it right. Anula A says I'm sunk. Sorry, Anula. I know you don't like these song titles, but I'll throw in a few general knowledges and mystery voices next week. And I might do things like Elvis dialogue and things like that, and Elvis movies, and what movie is this bit of dialogue from, and things like that. I'm going to mix it up. Don't worry. I'm always thinking about new things I can do for you. Right. So, we'll do the quiz. We will do the quiz. Question 1, and it's a long one, so you might need a pen, okay, to write down. BIYGMAOYL. Goodness me, what was I thinking of? Hi, Glenn. BIYGMAOYL. I don't think anybody's going to get this. Oh, as soon as I say that, Danny B-side gets it. Baby. No, I'm not going to give it to you, Danny, because it's Baby Is You Give Me All Your Love. I'm going to give it to Duncan because it's Baby If You Give Me All Your Love. I hope you don't take it too hard, Danny. Sorry, but I'm going to be strict on that one. So here we go. Here's the new jingle.
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
I like that one. Okay. So, Duncan Campbell. You're already in there, actually, Danny. Yeah, Danny says damn, but you're actually in there. Your name is in there actually a couple of times for the jacket. So I could still see you winning it. So Danny's been very gracious there. Baby, If You Give Me All Your Love. Now, this one is really, really easy and short. So here we go. Steve, what is it he said? He says...
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
If I miss it this time, I'm going to call a break of the group. So he's having a good time there, isn't he?
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
Right, here we go. And the next one is, get those typing fingers ready. I think we're yeah, it is. It's from the Dating Alternative Takes. Yeah, the outtakes. I think we're missing Jack Mullins this week as well. So there'll be a chance for more people to get in because I think Jack is actually in Memphis in Elvis week. And of course, the background that's the only background I could use this week, of course. Nothing else but that one. Right. ICOY. ICOY. Man, it's hot in here. Maxine says, I wish I could have gone this year. Yes, don't we all? Don't we all wish we could have gone? Is Jack going to do a live? I don't know. Hey, Phil UK. Well done, Phil UK. It's I'm Counting on You. And then Duncan Campbell was just after. So Phil UK is getting this.
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
Thanks, Phil UK, for taking part. In fact, thanks everybody for taking part. Everybody that's typing now. Hi, Steve. Cool introduction. Just in time. Back home for the live stream. Yeah, good time. Great. Okay. When you say yeah, good time, were you actually in Memphis? Yeah, Arkansas says Phil UK. Great. Okie dokie. Right. Oh, this one might throw you. I might even have to give you a clue. Okay, here we go. SBM BBTM. SBM BBTM. So, what do you think of that? Thanks, Helen. Yes, if you could give this a thumbs up, it'd be great. Santa, bring my baby back to me. Marcus Shrink. Well done, Marcus. I didn't think many people would get that, especially as we're sort of boiling in a heat wave at the moment. No, in Friedberg for the Elvis Festival. Ah, right, Johannes. Right. Very good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, Marcus gets a...
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
I love that. He's having a real great time. If he didn't laugh, he'd have cried probably while he was recording Dating. Here we go. Here's another quick one as well. Maxine says it's way too hot. Well, we're actually expecting it to break sometime tonight. Actually, we're expecting thunderstorms. So if you suddenly lose my stream, you know that we've been struck by lightning. Christine O'Neill says the Elvis family. I plan on going to Elvis Week in 2024. That's the way to do it. Plan ahead. Okay, question 4. ATLYB. ATLYB. Now, I'll have to watch closely. Let me have a look because I don't want to miss it. ATLYB. Who's going to be the first? Duncan. No, that's a mistype. Type again real quick. Oh, you did. Yeah, I'll give it to you because you actually corrected yourself. Well done, Duncan.
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
I have to give that to Duncan because even though he did get it wrong at the first hit, he almost immediately corrected himself. Very fast typing there, Duncan. Well done. Right. Question 5. Here we go. JFTB. What is JFTB? What song title is JFTB? Well done, Lorna Brown. Ain't That Loving You, Baby? Yeah, Duncan's on fire. I agree, Maxine. He is, yeah. Joshua fit the bat. Wow, Duncan, you are you are just blowing everybody out of the water today.
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
Wow. Mind you, that being said, there's Marie's the name. Greetings from Holland. Hello there. Yes, hat trick, Duncan. Yeah, I agree. I think that might have stumped a few people. JFTB. Michael says no clue. Christine says wow. Now there's Edwidge. Joshua fit the battle. Well done. Yeah, I think that might have tripped a few people up. Don says, all right, Duncan. All right. Right. That's that one taken. Now what we're going to do now is we are going to do question number 6. Susan McIntosh says these are hard. Okay, well it'll be easier next week. I promise. We'll do easy mystery voices or something like that. Okay, here we go. WDYCF. WDYCF. Again, I've got to keep a close watch because I looked off one time and screwed up the ball game. That's what Elvis said. Where do you come from? Marcus. Well done, Marcus.
I missed it this time. We'll call a break. Call the group.
Shrink. A lot of people getting that though. Where do you come from? Norset. Norset, you won last month's a fan of the month. I don't know whether you knew that. I don't know. Were you watching last week? I can't remember Norset. Okay. Well done. So that's 1, 2, 3 to Duncan, 2 to Marcus, Phil UK. Well done. Yeah, thanks for taking part in that. I want to do. I'm gonna do the poll, and then the poll can be running for the rest of the show, and it's a simple yes or a no this week. And as I say, you can be voting through. Did Banjo ever get his prize? Yes, he did. Yes, and he was very pleased with it. He was very, very pleased with it. Yeah, I'll do the poll, and you can be voting until near the end of the show. And then if I don't forget, like I did one week, I'll announce the results for people that can't vote on, playback. People that are watching on playback, unfortunately, can't vote and they can't see the result. But I will tell you what the result is for the people watching on playback. So here we go. It is, do you think Lisa Marie will ever move back to Graceland? It's a very, very simple question. Do you think Lisa Marie Presley will ever move back to Graceland? And for people watching on playback, they can leave their opinion in the comment section below this video. So that's a good idea. That's another way of you taking part, even though if you're watching on playback, you can't take part in the live interactive voting, but you can actually take part by leaving me comments in the description box below. Now, what I'm going to do, hopefully, fingers crossed, if you can give me fingers crossed, everybody. The reason why I say fingers crossed is because I am going to try and get somebody on the line from Memphis. Here we go. Let's see what we think of this.
Hello.
Hello, Jeanette. She said hello, and then she went. She must be busy. I'll try her again. Hang on a second. Here we go.
Hello, Steve.
Well, hello, Jeanette. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm in Memphis.
You are in Memphis, and you are at Elvis Week.
I am. It's my very first one, and it's just been. It's hard to articulate how wonderful it's been. It has surpassed my wildest dream.
Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. You're from Dallas, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you traveled. When did you travel?
I came in on Tuesday.
Okay.
The 8th, and I depart on the 18th. So I'm here for a good chunk of time and most of all of the activities.
How long have you been a fan?
Oh my goodness. Probably since the age of 10.
Okay, we won't give away your age, but it's probably been a long time, is it?
I don't mind telling my age. I'm 59.
I'm 59 this month, so there you go.
Well, there you go.
Let's see. How many times you're saying this is your first time then to Memphis and Graceland?
No, I came to Graceland for the first time 4 years ago.
Right.
So this is my second trip and my first Elvis week.
Yes, it's your first Elvis week. You've been through the mansion, I take it.
Yes. Yes. This trip I've already been. Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, I did the VIP tour. So, it's a very small group. There's 10 people in a tour, and it's quite the white glove treatment, so to speak. You have your own personal tour guide. You do wear like a headset, and she has a microphone, so she keeps her voice very low, but you can hear her in your headset. So, it's a very personalized experience, and you don't wait in any lines, and it's well worth the money. And one of the little extra perks you get from this VIP tour is they kind of have a hands-on session after you're done with the mansion tour. And this year, for the first time, this took place in the actual archive building on the grounds of the mansion. So
All
that was
right.
super special because I had never been in that building before.
Mm-hmm.
And they have archives in like a upright case where there's no glass or anything. She opens these doors and she pulls out one tray at a time. I think there was like, or shelf rather, 4 shelves, and there's artifacts on each shelf. And I won't bore you with what all was on there, but some fascinating things.
Yeah.
And then you are given the option to don the white gloves and
Oh.
hold an artifact. When I did the tour 4 years ago, we had the opportunity to hold one of his microphones.
Ah.
This year, it was actually even more stellar because I actually got to hold one of his performance belts.
Oh, wow.
So it was beyond awesome and beyond heavy.
Yes.
It was pretty
and
daunting.
that was
but
just the belt. Imagine what the whole suit would have weighed.
It's amazing. I mean, yes, that just really gave you an insight into how much weight he was carrying and yet able to do all of his karate moves and go all the way down, close to the floor and get back up again. The weight of the belt was I won't say it was astounding, but
Yeah.
it was quite remarkable how heavy it was.
People wonder why he sweated so much while he was on stage. Well, there's one of the reasons. I mean, the hot stage lights and then the weight of the jumpsuits that he was wearing.
Yes, most definitely.
Now, sorry,
go ahead.
Carry on. No, don't let me interrupt you.
Oh, that's fine. And so, got the personalized tour, and again, being my first Elvis week, seeing the meditation garden and the incredible array of displays that were literally coming in from around the world. I sent you some photos of those. I'm not in front of the I'm not in front of the television, so I don't know if they're on the screen, but that was something else. And quite, you only see that probably 10 days out of the year, right? So that was super neat. And then anyway, at the conclusion of, your time on the mansion grounds and in the buildings, you go back over across the street to the pavilion. And if you still have the stamina in you, you can continue on with the guide, and which we did. And she took us briefly through the automobile room. And then this year, I don't actually know when this particular part of the exhibit opened, but it was my first time to see it, was this, oh my gosh, this room of his jumpsuits. When I came 4 years ago, the jumpsuits were in, standalone cases, which was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
You could walk all the way around them and see the backs of them and all of that. So that was wonderful. But my goodness, I don't even know how to tell you what the experience was to walk into a room and they're stacked on top of each other. So they must go up, I don't know, 30 feet in the air.
Wow.
There's one wall that there's 3 levels of jumpsuits. And then on the 2 flanking walls, they're 2 levels high. And so you're just literally surrounded by jumpsuits. Every color, it's just a rainbow, and they go from floor, way, way up. It's incredibly awesome just to stand in there. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm tearing up just remembering what it felt like to be in that room.
So it's really, really well done then.
Very, very well done. Yes. And I still haven't seen a lot of exhibits over there. I haven't seen the Lisa Marie childhood exhibit yet. And I cannot tell you how much is going on here. The official EPE events, yes, but there's still like this whole other culture of stuff going on. And, from what I've found, there's no one single place to go to on the internet or wherever to find out all these other events that are happening. You just meet people, you hear about it through word of mouth, and you go, and it's just there's so much going on.
You've seen
It's
you were telling me yesterday you've seen some shows, some ETA, some Elvis tribute artist shows and things like that, haven't you?
yes, and I have, I thought, well, I'm going. I want to taste, everything. So I signed up for the ETA tribute concert and contest rather. And I had never been to one before. I was never been into the tribute world, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. It was just absolutely off the chart, absolutely amazing. My husband is with me. He's not particularly the hugest fan. He's just, indulging me on this trip. And I swear to God, Elvis has gained yet one more fan because
Really?
sitting in this concert venue, which is quite large, and the stage and the incredible backup band. There's a brass section, there's a drummer that's amazing, there's a backup singers, and then these incredible tribute artists. It was absolutely mind blowing. I just can hardly articulate it. It was absolutely incredible.
You would recommend Elvis Week, obviously.
I cannot recommend it enough. This was going to be my one and only. I will say this, the only downside to this is very, very expensive to do this. It's very unfortunate, but it's incredibly expensive. So, this was a bucket list thing for me. And I haven't broken the news to my husband yet. But by golly, this is only the first of many, many Elvis weeks to come.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about this cocktail party you're attending, please.
Which one?
This is the one you were telling me about out the back of Graceland. Is that correct?
Oh yes. That's in a day or it's not tonight. Tonight there's a gospel music dinner and performance. And by the way, here's another little tidbit on that. I was sitting at the bar in the guest house last night, and I just, I was visiting with someone, looked over my shoulder, and, literally 10 feet from me stood Larry Strickland.
Oh, right, yes.
And so I said, Mr. Strickland, and he was there with one other gentleman. And I said, Mr. Strickland, and he said, he nodded, and I said, and he approached me. I was sitting on a bar stool, and I held out my hand, and I said, sir, I just want to extend my deepest condolences to you.
Yes.
And
yes.
he said, thank you, and I do appreciate that. And that was basically it. But approachable and polite. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I spoke to. I don't know whether you know this. I spoke to Larry on this channel, and I found him an absolute gentleman. Such a lovely guy. This was before he lost his wife, but just such a lovely wife, such a lovely man.
That was my impression.
Yeah.
He's very. Was a little surprised. He's a very small-boned man. He's not a very large man. But anyway, long story short, he will be performing at the gospel show tonight.
Oh, great.
But getting back to the cocktail party on the back lawn of Graceland, which will be hosted by Priscilla.
Yes.
There's 3 levels of ticket packages: platinum, gold, and bronze. And again, this was a bucket list thing. And I told my husband, hey, if I'm going to do this, I got to have a platinum ticket. So again, extremely pricey, but I bit the bullet and did it. Of course, I have a platinum ticket. My husband does not. But anyway, one of the perks of this platinum package is this cocktail hour with Priscilla. And again, that happens, I don't know, in another night or two. So I'm, can't tell you how darn excited I am about that opportunity. And
you obviously get to meet Priscilla, and she comes around the tables and talks to you, obviously.
Yes, and there's a photo. There's a photo op and all of that. So that's great. But I have met just about everybody on my list that I was in a perfect world hoping to shake hands with. Dave Hebler, have spent actually quite a lot of time with him. One-on-one, he was quite lovely. I met Sam Thompson.
Yeah.
Joey Smith, Danny Smith,
Oh,
their
yes.
wives.
Yeah.
Yeah, who am I forgetting? Larry last night. Yeah, the only ones I haven't met so far are Billy and Joe Smith. They had a private event, yes, well, not private, but they had a ticketed event
Yeah.
yesterday and today, and the tickets sold out and wasn't able to get to
That's
go.
unfortunate.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah,
it's just
I mean,
been,
you sound like you're having a great time, and there's more ahead as well. Can I ask you? You've obviously been to the meditation garden, and can you tell us about
yes.
some of the floral tributes you've seen? You sent me some photographs, which I'm going to show to everybody now.
Okay, fantastic.
And let me just show those. Hang on a second. Where are we? I need to just get.
And
rid
again,
of
I'm not in front of my television, so
No, but there's one there of Benjamin's grave, and there's another
yes.
one there of a whole load of floral tributes. There's one there deep in the heart of Texas. There's also one there,
yes.
I think, which there was a big TCB one, and that is actually from the British fan club in the UK. I mean, it does bring a lump to my throat every time I see these floral tributes. It really does.
Well, speaking of where all they're from, let me tell you the people that I've met. I have met people from England, Switzerland, Norway, Sri Lanka, France, and Belgium, and that's just, I mean, it's staggering.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just staggering.
Yeah.
I wanted to make one comment or observation on Benjamin's grave. I had seen the pictures of it, obviously, online, but he is directly across from Elvis. I mean, directly across. The only thing in between
the other side of the fountain, I think, isn't it?
Yes. And I don't know. I just seeing it in person, the perspective just was vastly different than what I had in my mind. And I mean, he's just right there. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It appeared to me in the pictures I had seen that he was maybe slightly, away, but no, he is in the inner circle, so to speak, and he's at the head of Elvis's grave. I mean, just directly across. Yeah. So anyway, wish you were here with me.
Yeah. Now let me. Actually, we're just showing a picture actually of. It's gone. Just as we were talking there, you and I. It was showing the picture of Benjamin's grave. It's a very, very sad thing, actually. And one of the things we're asking is, do we think that Lisa Marie will ever move back to Graceland? We're actually asking people to vote on that today. And I'll tell people at the end of the show what people have voted. But you'd wonder whether one of the reasons burying or having him there in the meditation garden is sort of pre-planning for her. It's hard to know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
It is hard to know.
I will tell you this. My tour guide on that VIP tour was one of the, I believe she said 5 or 6 archivists of Graceland. And she made a comment towards the end of the tour. I don't even remember, what prompted it or whatever. But she said that the furniture in Lisa Marie's room upstairs, and she said no, she'd never been upstairs. She said, just wanted everybody to know I haven't been up there, but common knowledge, I guess, for her being an archivist, is that her upstairs bedroom, this is according to her, so take it or leave it, has more, as she put it, more comfortable furniture in it right now for when Lisa chooses to stay over. And then she commented that doesn't happen real often because she's typically traveling with her twins with her.
Yeah.
So that would probably be, a little bit cramped quarters, so to speak. But I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit.
Yes.
And whether I believe that she would ever move back, I think logistically, I don't know how that would be possible, Yeah.
I mean, my idea would be that maybe they could build a separate quarters for her out the back of Graceland. There's quite a bit of room out the back, isn't there? So maybe that would be an idea.
Out the back. correct, out the back and also to the left,
Yeah.
over where their archive building is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room over there. There's still actually, I learned this from Joey Smith, the double wide where, that Elvis bought for them, and where they grew up and lived on the grounds is still there.
Mm.
It's a little difficult to see it because there's a fence, but it's still there. So anyway, there's room on that side if she wanted to build something private, I suppose. I don't know. I'll tell you one other thing, and then I know I'm talking too long.
I've got a couple of other questions for you as well, but please do carry on.
Okay, one other thing, and this was not a part of the platinum package. It was an extra add-on, but I did it. And it was another building I'd not been to before, but I was able to do a private tour of the barn in the back, the stables, and that was only 15 people on that tour, so it was quite intimate and nice. And that was it was good, very good. The tour guide was saying that that was Elvis's favorite place and where he would go to be alone, and that they knew if he was out there that he was not to be bothered.
Yeah.
That was where he went to decompress and all of that. So when you keep that in your mind when you're there, I mean, it's I just kind of teared up. It's like this was his special hollowed place where he could just be by himself.
Get away from everybody. Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
The candlelight vigil. You're going to be attending that?
I will attend it. With this platinum pass, somehow it gets me a little bit higher in the line.
Right.
So I won't have this, stand out there. I heard I was visiting with someone who, here's the other thing, Steve. Everybody I talk to, I've not met. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've met anybody else that this is their first Elvis week. I'm talking to people who have been coming to this thing for decades.
Yes.
This is my 17th. It's my 21st.
Wow.
The guy from Switzerland I met on the first day, it's his 17th time coming.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, I can hop on a less than a 2-hour plane ride from Dallas to be here.
Yeah.
That man goes, across the ocean and has done it 17 times.
Yes.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean that's 45 years after he left us as well. It still never ceases to amaze me, the draw that Elvis. That's right. It's amazing. Are you going to Sun Studios, or have you been to Sun Studio?
I did that 4 years ago,
right.
I don't feel a need to repeat that one. But I do
Tupelo?
go to did not do that either trip.
Okay.
But I do hope to go to the Stax Museum.
Oh yeah, Stax Museum. Yeah, Lauderdale Courts is another good one. Apparently, you can stay in Elvis's bedroom overnight. I believe in Lauderdale.
Yes, you can. I did do a tour on my second day. It was actually almost a 4-hour tour of the city, all things Elvis.
Yes.
And we did go by there and saw the apartment, and and he was describing how you can stay there, and so
very good.
Anyway,
well,
anything else?
No, that's about it. Thank you very, very much for taking time out of Elvis Week to speak to us. I hope now that everybody has found it as fascinating as I have, and it's just made me even more jealous now to think that you're there and I'm here in Ireland. Missing it.
Let me ask these people, where are y'all from?
I'm actually based in Ireland.
No, I'm talking to Steve Francis, the Ultimate Fan Channel guy, right now. So anyway, Steve, I'm staying in an Airbnb duplex.
All right.
Okay, see you later. And anyway, these people, like 6 people, streamed out of the place next door to me.
All right.
I knew there were people over there. I didn't know who they were. They all have Elvis shirts on, and so I just said, "Where are you from?" And they're from Holland.
Oh, from Holland. Oh, very, very good.
Yes.
Very, very good.
So it's just amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
One more thing. Have you signed the front wall of Graceland?
Okay. I'm so glad you asked.
Don't forget to do that.
No, I don't want to do it, Steve.
Oh.
It's something that I don't want to do. And
that's fair enough.
I don't want to do that. To me, I mean, I know that's the thing to do, but it's a personal thing to me. And to me, it's just, I don't laugh when I say this. I just feel like it's kind of disrespectful. I know it's the
some
thing
people
to
think
do.
it's graffiti and
It's what it looks
just,
like, Steve.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
what it looks like. It looks dirty and nasty and disrespectful to me, and no disrespect to anybody else who feels differently.
Yeah.
But no, I don't choose.
Yeah,
to
no,
do
it's
that.
it's a personal thing. You either want to do it or you don't want to do it, and that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I must admit I did it, but mine will have faded a long time ago. Okay,
Oh my
Jeanette.
goodness!
As I said before,
It's been an honor talking.
yeah, it's been an honor, and as I say before, thanks very much for taking time out for your Elvis week to come on. It's much appreciated. Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
And enjoy the rest of the
betcha.
week.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. So there you have it. That was Jeanette, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, enjoying Elvis week, and you could hear it in her voice that she was enjoying it. Yeah, you could just tell. And I'm very jealous that she's there and I'm here. I'd love to be there joining them. And fingers crossed, hopefully I will get to make it again one day. Don't forget, do you think Lisa Marie Presley will ever move back to Graceland? Yes or no? And you've still got plenty of time to vote on that, because we're going to be doing things like Elvis history, this day in Elvis history. I'm going to be doing the Photoshop of the week. I'm going to be doing I Wish Elvis Had Recorded, a song I wish Elvis had recorded, but not me this time. It's a listener. And don't forget that we have won. No, this was the last week, actually, for the fan of the year. So next week I will be doing a quiz, but I'll also be revealing the fan of the year who actually wins the blue or the red sweatshirt. Okay, so let's do this day in Elvis history, and obviously a special day in history for sad reasons. Obviously, it's the anniversary of Gladys Presley passing away, and we will have a little bit of extra in Elvis history this week because of that milestone. So first of all, 1954, August the 14th, 1954, Elvis performed at the Goodwin Institute in Memphis, and that is what it looks like from the outside, and then that is what it looks like from the stage, and that is what Elvis would have seen on August the 14th, 1954. Then we have 1955. Elvis attended Jim, Ed and Maxine Brown's parents' 25th wedding anniversary party in Gladewater, Texas. Now, I've got a picture of that, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can see Scotty Moore, sort of middle left, and probably Bill Black is there somewhere. But I think Elvis is immediately, or rather extreme right top. I think that is Elvis at the very, very back of the right hand line. That looks like Elvis anyway. It does to me anyway, in a white shirt. Then we've got 1956, back in Memphis, Elvis was spotted at a service station in his new Lincoln. 1958, now, Gladys's death. She died at 46, although her age was reported as 42 for many years. While resting at his Graceland home after visiting his mother at a Memphis hospital, Elvis receives a call from his father telling him that his mother has passed away. And we actually have Billy Smith narrating and just telling us what happened that night.
She actually got sick while he was in Fort Hood doing his basic training, and Lamar was down there during that time. And they finally talked him into sending her back. And her and Vernon came back, and she immediately went right into the hospital. And of course, Elvis wanted to leave, you know, and he finally got it, and he came home. And of course, we went up to see her, and she was telling me, son, I'll be all right, you know, and everything. Just going. He said, well, I was going to go to the movie. He said, but after I get out of the movie, he said, I'll come back up here and see you and all. And She said, no. I said, that's okay. Said, you just go on home and get some rest, and you can come back, tomorrow and see me. Well, that night, he wanted me to stay up there with him. Everybody else had pretty much gone. I think Lamar was still there and had gone to take somebody home.
Take those girls home.
And so I was in the room with him. It was somewhere around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. The phone kept ringing downstairs. He had a private number upstairs, so it kept ringing downstairs. And he just sat straight up and he said, you might ought to answer that. So I got up and, of course, I'm only 14 years of age, at that time. So I run downstairs and I get it, and it's Vernon on the phone. And he says, you need to tell Elvis, and that's as far as he got, and he was, by this time, I could hear him in the background, and, he was sobbing. And the nurse took the phone, and she said, you need to tell Mr. Presley that his mother's taking a turn for the worse and needs to get up here. So I went back up, and I knew not to, even at that age, I knew not to panic him too much. So I went up, I told him, I said, look, the nurse called and said, you need to come up here because your mama's gotten a little sicker. And in my mind, I pretty much already knew, just from what I'd heard over the phone. So we immediately, he just threw some shoes on, no socks, a shirt, and we ran downstairs, and we jumped in the Lincoln Mark II that he had, and off we went, boy. And he didn't waste time. He didn't stop for red lights or anything else. And when he pulled in, he didn't even throw it in gear. He just jumped out. He applied the brakes enough that when he hit that little stop, that it stopped the car. But we never slowed up. And I finally went back and put it in park. And when he got upstairs, all he had to do is he made around the nurse's desk, and there was a long corridor. And when he made that turn, his daddy was standing outside, and that was it. When they saw each other, he knew. He immediately knew. And of course, they just ran to each other and embraced each other. Boy, that was one of the most pitiful things you'll ever see.
So that was Billy Smith recalling the night that Gladys Presley passed away. And for me, I actually believe that Elvis was never the same again after that night. I'm pretty sure a lot of you would agree with me on that. It's something that it's a loss that he never got over, and that was on this day in 1958. I just want to attend to a little bit of business here. Susan McIntosh, thank you for the super chat. She says that she's got the movie on Amazon. She's waiting for it to come out in 4K, and she's seen it about 10 or 12 times. Thanks for the super chat, Susan. On this day in 1960, Flaming Star. Then we have 1961, Follow That Dream, filming resumed in Hollywood. 1963, Viva Las Vegas. 64, Girl Happy. 1965, the Elvis Presley EP Tickle Me hit number 70 in the US. Tickle Me used existing Elvis songs rather than new songs, and the RCA released 2 extended play singles, with the format falling out of favour. There were 2 EPs from Tickle Me, and in 2005 the movie got a full CD soundtrack with bonus tracks, and also location shooting in Hawaii for Paradise Hawaiian Style on this day in 1965. 1966, Double Trouble. Speedway in 67. 68, Charo. 1969, Elvis Did Dinner. And midnight shows at the International, of course, because he had just started his comeback, if you like, his comeback in Vegas. 1970, That's the Way It Is production. Elvis Did Dinner and Midnight Vegas shows. 1971, Elvis Did Dinner and Midnight shows. Elvis complained he was coming down with the flu. That's not good. 1972, the date for the Elvis Helloa from Hawaii concert is pushed back to January 1973 due to upcoming release of Elvis on tour, and they didn't want it to clash. You don't really want to be. Elvis didn't really want to be competing with himself. 1973, Elvis Did Dinner and Midnight Vegas shows. 1974, 3 days of rehearsals at RCA's Sunset Boulevard studio, running tonight from 7 p.m. until 1:20 a.m. and continued on the next 2 nights from 9 p.m. till midnight. And on this day in 1977, Elvis and Ginger went motorcycling with Billy and Joe Smith. Don't forget, there's still time for you to vote on the do you think that Lisa Marie Presley will ever move back to a Graceland? I hope you all enjoyed hearing from Jeanette in Memphis during Elvis Week. And as I say, I'm pretty sure, like me, you're a little bit jealous if you're not there. And I've seen a lot of photographs on social media taken by people that are there, and it looks like people are having a whale of a time. It really does look like, it's a really, really nice week. Let's just have another look at some of the photographs. These are the floral tributes that are in the meditation garden. And there's Benjamin's. And as you can see, what Jeanette said, yes, he is right opposite where Elvis is, just across the fountain. Kirsty says, been to the cinema again today, 7th time. Wow. The Wonder of You, Graceland, staff, the true American Idol, Elvis Always and Forever. Some of these are just fantastic. There's a shot of the graves and the ones around the headstones. This is just for people that can't be there, like myself. That one there, that is from, as far as I know, the Forever TCB is from Todd Slaughter and the guys in the British fan club. Very touching. Okay. Right. Yes, Photoshop. I was going to do Photoshop before I did. I'm also asking anybody if they haven't subscribed yet, to subscribe, hit the bell and turn it black, which is all. Don't choose personalized because you won't get hardly any notifications. So pick all. And I'm just asking as many people as possible if they haven't subscribed yet. And also give me thumbs up as well. And I love to hear and read your comments as well that you leave on these lives. So you can always leave your comments below this afterwards. So, yes, Photoshop. This is one that does the rounds a lot and it kind of irritates me. It's this one, I believe, was sent in by Duncan, I believe. And it shows Elvis and Lisa Marie dancing on Elvis's shoes. But unfortunately, it's not. It's a composite. It's obviously just a photograph taken of Graceland's living room. And then it uses this photograph, the one below, of course, of a young lady and her father probably dancing. And then it's been used to make up this one. So if you ever see that, as nice as it is, it's a fake. It's a Photoshop. Alrighty. So I'm going to do a song I wish Elvis had recorded. And it's sent in by Christine O'Neill. Now, we're all familiar with Christine. She's a great supporter of this channel. And she's very active on the comments as well. As far as I remember, I've seen her name tonight, I believe. In fact, I think I answered a question from Christine. It's a song by the British rock band Queen, written by the lead singer pianist Freddie Mercury. It debuted on the band's 1976 album A Day at the Races and also appears on their 1981 compilation album Queen's Greatest Hits. Written by Mercury at the piano, it's a soul-searching piece that questions God's role in life without love. Through voice layering techniques, Queen was able to create the soulful sound of 100 voice choir from 3 singers. That's Mercury, Brian May, and Roger Taylor, and John Deacon. John Deacon did not sing backing vocals. Since its release in 1976, the song has appeared in several television shows such as the Idol franchise, The X Factor, and Glee, as well as films including Happy Feet and Ella Enchanted. It has also been covered by many other artists. It reached number 2 in the UK and number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. If you haven't guessed by now, it's the track Somebody to Love. And as always, if you're not familiar with it, that's okay, because I'll leave a link to the song below and you can click on that and you can listen to it. And have a listen and leave your comments below. Again, as I say, I love reading all your comments. Not just about these videos, but about all comments about Elvis. I just love them. But can you imagine Elvis singing this? Would it have suited him? Well, that's what I want to hear. If you want to listen to Somebody to Love, and then let me know what you think. Thanks to Christine for suggesting that song. And if you'd like to suggest one yourself, you can contact me on Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. You can send me your ideas on Facebook Messenger or Instagram or anything like that, or WhatsApp. Same goes for the Photoshop as well. If there's a picture that does the rounds that you know is a Photoshop, send me the Photoshop and send me the original as well, and I'll have a look through them and maybe cover one in future episodes. So yeah, as I said at the top of the show, I can hardly believe that another year has gone by nearly, and we're at Elvis's 45th anniversary of his death. A lot has happened since last year. This time last year when I was sat here, we hadn't seen the movie. We were still patiently waiting, thinking, oh my goodness me, it's still 10 months away. And now most of us have seen it. I'm pretty sure most of us have seen it that want to see it anyway. And I'll be getting it again. I'll probably be getting it on Blu-ray, and I'll be watching it in the comfort of my own home. But I'll also be able to freeze it, and I'll be able to slow-mo it, and I'll be able to look at all the things I missed when I saw it at the cinema. And I will be, as I said earlier on, obviously, the phone lines have been open since I spoke to Jeanette. I forgot to tell you that the phone lines were open, but I'm sure you knew that anyway. But don't forget, next week, somebody is going to win that Speedway jacket. So please, if you can make it next week, make an extra special effort to listen in next week. Let's see what I have here. I have a phone call. I have a phone call coming in, actually. Okay. Hello.
Hello, this is Sam, Little E Studios.
Hi. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Did you say Little E Studios? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah. I've seen you on the chat, actually. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Thank you.
What would you like to say?
Well, I'd like to talk about two things. One, you told me when the movie first came out, you said call again and tell you what I thought after I saw it a few more times.
Yes.
I've seen it twice on Amazon, and I was able to, like you just said, pause it, freeze it, and see all the things I missed. I didn't miss anything because I was like wide open, paying attention to every little detail I possibly could. But I did, because it's so quick in the very beginning of the movie. If you pause after they show like the snowman banner that Colonel Parker had, there's pictures on his wall. Well, if you pause that, you can see on the left side there are pictures of Elvis at the press conferences in Vegas, and then right below that there's a picture of Nixon and Elvis, but it's Austin Butler like they did in the rest of the movie. When it was a real picture of Elvis, they just photoshopped his face onto Elvis's body, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's Austin Butler met Nixon. Yeah. And I've heard the rumors that scene was going to be in the movie.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's been filmed. It was filmed. It was left out.
It was filmed, and they just superimposed his face on Austin's body. But I will say this: I still like the movie, but one thing I didn't like was in the whole 50s part of the film. I did not like, because it would be he's singing backstage, I'll Fly Away, then they flash back to when he was a kid, then they go back to the hayride, then they go back to when everything's just flashing before you, and you can hardly keep up with what's going on.
That's Baz's style, I think, isn't it?
Yes, and I understand that. That's why my parents saw it and they were like, "Why is it flashing so much?" I'm like, "That's just Baz's style, I
Yeah,
guess."
yeah.
But it was kind of hard to keep up. And then all of a sudden you hear the actress playing Big Mama Thornton singing Hound Dog, which I was like, "Oh, this is cool." But then they add that Vegas Dojo Cat rapping remix, and I'm like, "You just ruined a good song."
Well, I
But
will.
again, like,
I will say one thing. I am just so proud that it is now the second most popular biopic in history after Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, it's overtaken all
yes,
the other biopics.
yes, it must be doing something right. So, but
Exactly.
the second thing is you had that woman just a little while ago. She was talking about her trip to Memphis. I went 4 years ago as well in 2018
Yeah.
in early December, and I got to see Graceland all decked out for Christmas. And the good thing was for me, because I'm disabled, I had audio tour, so I just went around in my wheelchair and listened to the audio tour so I could go at my own pace.
Yes.
Because with those live tours, they're carting you all over the place. But it was nice, and like she said, the jumpsuits were in the glass cases, and that was nice to see.
Yeah.
They had the original NBC chair that Elvis sat on and stood on during the
Oh,
Syndicate comeback, and
brilliant. Yeah.
I was like, that is so cool. And then, uh, and it's cool to see that in the movie, but I just wish so badly that they showed more of that instead of that quick montage.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
and I know he only had 2.5 hours to fill, but
Mm.
the way I would have done it is tell the backstory not as fast as he did, but tell a little bit of a backstory, but focus all your energy on like the main highlights of Elvis's life, his breakout year, the Army years, meeting Priscilla, but especially his '68 comeback in the Aloha from Hawaii special. He
Yeah.
literally just, Colonel Parker comes on and says, 1.5 billion people were watching next.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big part of his life.
Yeah, you see, the thing is it was more focused on the relationship between Elvis and the Colonel. Unfortunately, that's what it was. You know, I mean,
Yes.
it wasn't so much. Even though people are calling it a biopic, it was more of a study of the relationship between the Colonel and Elvis. But I can see what you mean. I mean, there's other things. I mean, I've got a gripe against it where it didn't show Elvis's humility. It didn't show his sense of humor. It didn't show his generosity. But then again, it probably wasn't about that. Unfortunately, people will have to find that out.
It was just
They'll
about
have
the
people.
Colonel and
Yeah, people will have to find that out for themselves. I mean, I keep telling
Yes.
people how generous he was and what a great sense of humor he was and all that, and they will, new fans will have to find that out for themselves.
yeah. Well, and then other biopics do that too, but then again, they don't. Like, the one thing I don't like about I love the Elvis movie with Kurt Russell. I
Yeah.
do, because
Yeah,
before I saw Austin Butler, I said and I've seen all of the biopics, but I was like, this is the best one they've ever made. The one thing I don't like about it is the fact that Colonel Parker's in the beginning of the movie, and then we don't see him for any of the rest of the film, and I'm like, he was more involved than just in the 50s. Y'all
Yeah.
missed something.
yeah.
But then again, you can't have everything. But
No.
again, like, I loved, because I was actually able to hear it better, because when it got to Elvis doing That's the Way It Is and the concerts, the theater I was at, because it's so old, the speakers kept cutting out.
Oh,
So I couldn't hear nothing. It was
no.
muffled, and
oh dear. Because
So-
I mean, I saw it in IMAX and Dolby Atmos and all those things, and the picture and the sound was just blew me
brilliant.
away.
Yeah.
Blew me away.
Well, the picture was good. The sound just kept cutting out. And
That's unfortunate.
so when the Colonel is talking to Elvis about, oh, you can tour in Vegas, and he says, the snowman strikes again, I never heard any of that conversation.
Yeah.
It's like like I told you, I went with my brothers went with me, and he's like, what just happened? I said, I'm guessing they're going to Vegas. I can't really tell, but
yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. So
But it was good
you'll get to see it again on DVD and streaming, obviously.
yes, I am planning on. I'm putting the DVD on my Christmas list.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm just gonna watch it streaming. But
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Yeah.
Like I noticed another detail during the and I can understand why they did this, but the Burning Love Quick tour scenes
Yeah.
that they showed, just 15 cities in 15 days.
Yeah.
There's actually a scene where Lamar Fike, the actor playing Lamar Fike, Elvis is on his back with a monkey, and I was sitting there going, they got that straight from the photos where Elvis did that in Vegas.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they paid a lot of, and people bigger fans than me are saying, well, they even got the bandage when he's wearing the dragon
Yes, that's
suit.
right. The bandage on the hand when he slumps in the back of the limo and things like that.
Yep.
I mean, the attention to detail in some of the movie is brilliant. Absolutely A1.
Yeah. The only thing that they missed really was the 68 comeback set when he's doing the gospel session.
Yeah.
Like there's no design on the wall, but other than that, it was like, wow, that looks like Elvis on the 68 comeback set.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, the only way they could cover every single aspect to please somebody like myself and you would be if they did a Netflix serial and they probably stretched it over 12 episodes. Now Baz he's not into serializations and things like that, but that's the only way they could probably do it is 12 episodes on Netflix, an hour each, 12 hours.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
That's
something?
what my mom said. She said she said it would have been better, in her opinion. She said it would have been better if they would have done like a series of episodes, and I'm sitting there going, and that would have been a good idea, but still, you know, that's just not Baz's style. It was a movie, so he's gonna do it. Yeah. But it did feel rushed in places, and I was like, well, they had to. But again, people are still criticizing Tom Hanks doing Tom Parker, and I'm sitting there going, but he was from Holland. His accent, like Tom Hanks just said, he's from Holland, so we got to do an accent. So he did an accent.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no problem with that. But it was funny seeing him portray Parker. It wasn't, because I was expecting Hanks. He can't do a full-on bad guy because Hanks has never played a bad guy in his life, so he played it with humor. I like that.
Yeah. I've never seen Tom play a bad guy before.
Just because it was funny, even when he was yelling about the security going overseas, he was like, does anybody ever think of his security? I'm like,
yeah.
And then the whole Here Comes Santa Claus, my brother sat there, watched it again with the whole family, and he was still laughing at the fact that he kept saying, play Here Comes Santa Claus.
I know.
Well,
okay. Well,
but they ended up with going, in real life, they ended up going with Blue Christmas.
That's right, yeah.
Honestly, I would have loved to hear Elvis sing Here Comes Santa Claus, but they did touch on this. Elvis said after Martin Luther King got assassinated and all that happened, and then the bad movie soundtracks, he said, I'm never going to do a song again that I don't believe in.
That's right,
you can see Austin playing on the piano, Here Comes Santa Claus, melancholy, and then Bender comes on the intercom and says, are you ready to do that song tomorrow? It's pretty familiar territory.
Yeah.
And then he says that line of, a reverend once told me, if things are too dangerous to say, sing. That was their way of nodding to him saying, I'm never doing that. I'm never doing a song I don't believe in again. Yeah. So he does If I Can Dream.
Yeah, see, a lot of people have told me that, you know, the movie gets better with every viewing. And I know that some people, some people have seen it 20 times, and I mean, that's just phenomenal. And that's another thing I wanted to say. This is, in some ways, this is a unique movie that so many people have gone back and seen it multiple times. You know, I've heard of people going and seeing the movie, you know, like Goodfellas or something like that 3 or 4 times, but people seeing it 20 and 25 times is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I love Elvis. I'm not his. Somebody asked me because I was at a grand opening for a restaurant that was Elvis themed, and they had an Elvis tribute artist, and they had me on the news because I was dressed as Elvis because I got a free meal, and you know I'm explaining that all to the people viewing the TV. But somebody said, "Well, you're dressed up like Elvis. You seem to know a lot about him. You must be his biggest fan." I said, "No, I'm not. There's bigger fans out there than me, but even the bigger fans, they're sitting there. I'm a big fan, but I would never watch a movie 20 times about him. I really enjoy Elvis, but I think it's amazing to me that people are doing that. Like you
Yes.
said, it's phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. And I think in a
Like-
way, I think it's unique as well. I mean, even the Star Wars films and things like that and all the Marvel ones, I don't think there were people, maybe there is, I don't know, maybe somebody can tell me, but I've never heard of people seeing it 23, 24 times. Amazing.
Yeah, I've never
Absolutely
heard of a
amazing.
movie getting that much
No.
viewing.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, Bohemian Rhapsody did good because it's still number one, but still, Elvis got number two this quickly,
Yeah.
and it's just phenomenal. Now I'm just waiting for Baz to announce, hey, we're releasing Elvis on tour footage.
Yeah, I think that's being worked on. I really do, because he said, didn't he?
Yeah,
He
'cause
made an announcement. It's being worked on.
I saw sometime in September that they're coming out with a 4 CD box set for
Yes.
the Elvis on tour with four complete shows. I'm like, finally, can we get the footage for those two?
Okay. Oh, Sam, it's been great speaking to you. Thanks very, very much. Thanks for your call.
Well, thank you for letting me come on.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Ludane says, yes, it gets better every time. 21 times for me. That's unbelievable. I just love it. As I say, I really do think it's unique in the movie history that people are going, and so many people are going to see it multiple times. Not just the fact that some people are seeing it 20, 25 times, but so many people are viewing it multiple times. Such is the draw of Elvis. Now, the poll, do you think that Lisa Marie Presley will ever move back to Graceland? And I said yes or no. Very, very, very simple. And I'm going to close the poll now. And I see that overwhelmingly, this is for the people that can't vote and can't see it because they're watching on playback. Yes, 27%, and no, 73%. So some people think she will never, ever return full-time to Graceland, although we know that she does spend short periods there upstairs. So that, I think, is it for this week. Don't forget, a big announcement next week, a big winner winning the Speedway jacket. And thanks so much for all the callers. Thanks, a very, very big thanks to Jeanette for taking time out from her Elvis week to come on the show. Thanks, Jeanette. You're a star. Don't forget to leave your comments, and I'll leave a link for the I Wish Elvis Had Recorded. And if you do want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee using the link below as well. And until next week, guys, enjoy the rest of Elvis week if you're in Memphis.